All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about something really cool, the social enterprise. We're going to break down what it is, the unique hurdles they face, and really, the blueprint for how to do good, but better. Let's get right into it.
So this is the big one, right? The question at the very heart of all this. Can a business actually solve social problems and make money at the same time? I mean, really blend the heart of a charity with the brain of a business. The short answer? Yeah, absolutely. But, and it's a big but, it's not simple at all.
So to really get how this works, we've got to be super clear on what we're even talking about. Because this isn't your standard nonprofit, and it's not your typical corporation either. It's something else entirely, a really powerful mix of both.
And this definition really nails it. Think about it. A social enterprise uses all the classic business tools, marketing, sales, operations. But the main goal, the whole reason it exists, isn't to make shareholders rich. Nope, it's to fix a social or environmental problem. For these guys, profit isn't the end game. It's the fuel that keeps the mission engine running. Okay, and that right there creates the fundamental challenge. This slide puts it perfectly. It's a balancing act. It is literally like walking a tightrope. On one side, you've got your social mission. That's your why. It's the whole point. On the other side, you have to be financially sustainable. You got to make money to keep the lights on and actually grow your impact. If you lean too far one way or the other, whoops, it's a long way down.
So, trying to stay on that tightrope creates some really specific, really tricky hurdles that pretty much every social enterprise has to figure out. Let's break down the 4 biggest ones.
First up, you've got the strategy challenge. Okay, a normal business, it's all about one thing, being as efficient as possible to make the most money. Simple. But what happens when your mission is to, say, hire people who've had a tough time finding work? Or maybe you have to use materials that are way more expensive but are good for the planet. All of a sudden, your good intentions are clashing with the pure bottom line efficiency. And that creates this constant tension you always have to be managing.
Next, we've got the legitimacy challenge. You know how we all like to put things in neat little boxes? This is a for-profit, that's a nonprofit. Well, when you're a hybrid, you don't fit in either box, and that can totally confuse people, investors, customers, even your own team. You end up having to work twice as hard just to prove that, yes, you're a real business, and also, yes, you're genuinely committed to doing good. Okay, this next one is super interesting. It's called the mission measurement paradox. Think about it. Counting money is easy. Dollars, cents, profit margins, no problem. But how in the world do you put a number on improving a community or making the environment better? It's tough. And because the financial stuff is just so much easier to track, there's this huge danger of what's called mission drift. That's where you slowly, without even realizing it, start focusing more on the money, the thing you can measure, instead of your actual mission.
And last but not least, the governance challenge. Basically, who's in charge here? Who's making sure the organization actually sticks to its mission? Your whole setup, your board, how you make decisions, it all has to be designed from the ground up to protect that social goal. Because trust me, the pressure to just focus on profits, it's going to show up. You've got to build a fortress around your purpose.
So wow. With all those challenges, how on earth do you stay on that tightrope? Well, you need a tool. You need a balancing pole, right? What you really need is a blueprint, one that's purpose-built for this very specific, very unique kind of business.
And just look at the difference here. A standard business model. It's a pretty simple loop. You have a product, you have a customer, you make revenue, done. But a social business model, it blows that up. It forces you to ask different questions, like who are our paying customers, but also who are the beneficiaries that we're actually helping? It's not just about a value proposition. It's about a social value proposition. And this is crucial. It plans for community reinvestment right from the start.
And this is the tool that pulls it all together. It's called the Social Business Model Canvas. Now, you might have heard of the original business model canvas. This is a super clever adaptation of that famous tool, but it's been completely retooled for social businesses. It's basically your whole plan on a single page. It lets you map out every single piece of your venture and see exactly how it all ties back to your core mission.
And this is what makes it so powerful. See, everything starts with your mission. That's box number 1. It forces you to separate your paying customers from the beneficiaries you're helping, which might be 2 different groups. It makes you pinpoint your social innovation, like what's your special sauce, and it builds that community reinvestment piece right into the DNA of the business, making sure that when you succeed financially, you're directly fueling the mission.
Okay, so that's the blueprint. It sounds great in theory, right? But how does it actually work in the messy real world? And maybe more importantly, what happens when people get it wrong, even when they have the best intentions? Let's take a look.
Here's a fantastic example. A filled-out canvas for a company we all know, Tom's Shoes. Just look at how their famous one-for-one mission is right there at the top, driving literally everything else. Who are their key allies? Humanitarian groups. What's their value proposition? It's a meaningful cause. And the community reinvestment? Well, it's their famous one-for-one product donation. You can see how it's all one big, connected system.
But look, having a great blueprint is one thing. Actually building the thing is another. Execution is everything. And even the most passionate, brilliant founders can fall into some pretty common traps that can completely sink their mission.
The research shows there are 3 big ones to watch out for. First, what I like to call the copy-paste mistake. Just assuming that a model that worked over there is going to work perfectly for you. Second, getting totally mixed up and confused about whether you should be a nonprofit or a for-profit. And third, and this one is huge, not building the right team, one that has both the passion and the business smarts.
Let me give you 2 quick stories. There was this firm, Day, that had this amazing drip irrigation system. They tried to bring it to Ethiopia, and it was a total flop. Why? Because they didn't adapt it to the local hills and the serious water shortages. That's that one-size-fits-all trap in action. Then you have a company called Think Impact. It started as a nonprofit, and the founder was just burning out, spending all day, every day just trying to raise money. It wasn't working. So he made a huge pivot, turned it into a for-profit, and suddenly they had a sustainable model that let them actually grow their impact.
And the founder of Think Impact, Saul Garlick, said it so well. He said, "The notion that nonprofits are the right vehicle for doing good in the world is no longer true. Today, ethical, well-run businesses with products that make life better are remarkable at improving lives at scale." I mean, his own story proves that point perfectly. A solid, ethical business can be an amazing engine for change.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that having a good heart and a noble mission, well, that's not enough. You have to be smart about it. You absolutely have to adapt to your specific situation, just like Dai learned the hard way. You've got to build a financial model that can actually support itself, like Think Impact finally did. And you have to get the right team in place. People who have both the passion and the practical skills.
So look, we've seen it's not just a dream. It is totally possible to blend purpose with profit, to walk that tightrope successfully. Yeah, the challenges are very real, but so are the tools and the blueprints to overcome them. The guide is out there. So the only real question left for you is, what problem are you going to solve?